Well, this thing is gonna suck. And alright, since everyone and their grandmother has been bashing this trailer, let's find some positives first. Yum. I like the movie's logo design, I like the use of the original game's sound effects, and the rings in place of the stars for the Paramount logo. And that's it. Everything else is meh or awful. On the meh side, it seems we are once again getting an origin story for our nostalgia-driven character, where everything recognizable besides the going fast part is stripped away so we can get that as our sequel bait, and in its place is yet another being we can't trust in our modern-day world plot. And oh, Jim Carrey, I love you, but what the hell are you doing? Now let me say that my background with Sonic includes the original game for the Sega Genesis, the Sonic the Hedgehog animated show in the 90s, the 3D game for the N64, and the short-lived Sonic Underground series. So I'm used to seeing Robotnik as a straight-up evil, cackling bad guy, not a comedic one. I'm also used to a setting where Robotnik has already won, where it isn't Sonic trying to save the planet from evil, but him trying to take back his world from evil. And that just sounds so much more interesting to me. Sure, a small band of rebels fighting against some larger ruling threat isn't new. I just think it could allow a more compelling story by starting in the middle of the action. Unless we are, with Sonic having to leave wherever he comes from to help Earth, but that still leaves us on Earth, in the modern day. I mean, in a franchise where you have striking visuals to draw on in previous forays, and cool fantasy elements like crystals and power rings, this is the setting and look you chose? And that look brings me to the awful, which, yes, is that character design. Just why? Who pitched this? Who signed off on this? How did we get this deep into production with something this flawed? And speaking of production, this is also why we can't fix this mess now. I know there have been tweets about changing the design in response to the backlash, but I'm sorry, it's too little, too late, at least from my perspective. And to talk about that perspective, let's take a look at the wonderful world of animated production. Like its live-action counterpart, animation has 3 stages: pre-production, production, and post-production. And character design is obviously an aspect of pre-production. You nail down the look of your film and those that will inhabit it, so the production can run smoothly thereafter. In theory, at least. It is well understood how vital an engaging main character is for your film. For example, Walt Disney halted production on Pinocchio because he felt the first design wasn't likable enough until Milt Kahle's version was greenlit. But this team didn't do that. They went into production with this thing and now have to scramble because everyone hates it. And since it's a live-action combo, that may well mean reshoots with the live actors, and those never go poorly, right? Not to mention all the animation that has to hit the cutting room floor, and the new stuff that has to be produced on a now very tight schedule, considering this is due in November, and it should be deep into post-production by now. Trying to fix this at such a late date means blowing budgets, rushed work, and potentially hacked-up reshoots. None of this spells good things for the final product. So even if they get a great Sonic character design together, that won't salvage anything. At least I don't think so. Oh sure, there might be a fair amount of buzz and dollars thrown around in hate-watching and source material for clickbait videos a la the Emoji Movie, but in the end I think we're going to have yet another entry into the you can't make good movies out of video games pile. Joy!